Hey everybody, welcome to episode 103 of Making It. I'm Bob Clagett here with Jimmy Diresta.
Hello everybody, Happy New Year.
Hello. And David Picciuto.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. You guys had a good, safe, Happy New Year, I assume, because you're here.
Yeah, we
no
made
injuries.
it back. Can you believe it's 2017?
No.
I can't believe it. That's amazing to me.
So now both checks that I write this year, I have to remember to change the date.
The two checks that you have to write in 2017.
How do you get to write just two checks? I wish I could do that.
Well, I write more than two. That was an exaggeration. But yeah, I don't write many checks anymore because everything's like direct deposit, debit, pay online kind of stuff.
See, that's scary to me. I'm still old school. I still like writing checks and licking stamps and that kind of stuff. Well, you don't lick stamps much anymore, but once in a while I lick an envelope. And the reason being because I feel like I'm out of touch with what I have in the bag.
I was just thinking like, you were just like licking the envelope. I forgot that you actually lick them to close them. I think. No, I still do. I like the taste. But what's interesting is that I like to be in touch with the money that I have in the bank. So when it's time to pay bills, I open up my checkbook and I put on my visor, with the bald spot showing through the top, and I put the pencil in my ear. And I start looking through my books and I start seeing, and I open up my account and I see. And because I feel like if I go on auto pay, like I have no idea. The money will just fly out. Like I won't have any hold of it. Well,
it's crazy,
I'm kind of the same way in that, like, I don't auto pay things. My mortgage is the only thing that I have, like, auto draft. Everything else is I manually go to pay it, so I'm aware of when it's happening and all that stuff. But it's still done online. I just do it all through my... Because my bank, when you pay, I get bills on the website, and then when I pay them there, they print out a check, send it to the person, which seems crazy to me, why that's a good idea. But whatever, I don't have to do it, so...
Right.
Huh.
That's cool.
That's so foreign to me. Everything is automatic. It's all... I have little calendar alerts that'll say, like, okay, this bill is automatically coming out of my account this day. And so I'll see that on my morning calendar, but I don't have to touch anything. Everything that I can automate is already automated.
My alerts always say you should have paid your mortgage last week. That's what my alerts say.
You might want to move those up a day. Oh, yeah, you have calendar problems. That's right.
I have calendar issues. Yeah. No. But now, 2017, we got to remember to write 2017, then lick the stamp.
Then lick the envelope. Yep. Well, what have you guys been up to? Other than the obvious, like, holiday stuff? Or was there anything awesome that happened on the holidays?
Well, we just relaxed, honestly. I mean, it was just a great... I typically am down in Long Island with my family. But I think last year and this year we stayed up at the house, which is nice. We just kind of hid from everybody. So, and everybody's invited to the house, but it's a funny excuse. No one wants to drive 3 hours. So I'm like, hey, everyone's welcome to come up, but no one's going to say yes. And so me and Taylor and Willie just hung out at the house with the animals. We just had a totally relaxing Christmas and New Year's. It was chill. I worked quite a bit, actually. I built the tables that you'll see on my Instagram account. So I worked on the tables, and my buddy Danny, who was my client on that job, he came up. He wanted to learn how to weld, so he came up and hung out with me. Typically, between Christmas and New Year's is my time to just like veg out and do whatever, like tinker, play around in the shop, and we actually got a lot of work done. So it was a work week for me, but it was really relaxed. It was fun.
Well, last week I finished up a video on building a collapsible bookcase. It's a campaign style furniture bookcase, and it's got 12 hinges in it, and it was made for like British military hundreds of years ago. So it completely collapses on itself and then goes back together in like a matter of seconds. And I'm going to launch that video later tonight. Normally I would launch video on Tuesday. We record this podcast on Monday, but I'm going to be out of my house filming all day tomorrow, and so I won't have time to respond to comments or anything. So I'm going to release that video later tonight, so it should be up by the time you guys hear this. It's really cool. I cannot wait to see the reaction from people for this video, because this bookcase is pretty sweet. And then tomorrow, Eric and I, we're going to film our DeWalt video. We're going to make a bat house, or a couple bat houses.
Nice.
And
cool.
Yeah, so all the DeWalt tools, they're the flexible, portable tools. And so what we're going to do is, we're going to go to Home Depot, get the supplies. We're going to film that and then try to build it in the parking lot until we get kicked out.
They won't kick you out.
They won't. So,
no.
And so I just kind of show the portability of these types of tools. And I don't know. I kind of hope we get kicked out so we can kind of get that on film, because that would make a funny little tension in there. But that's what I'm working on.
It would be funny if you get hired to go like do something at someone's house for the day, like guys that hang out at the parking lot looking for work. And you end up going to someone's house and working.
I'm turning all that down.
Like
I'm
start
sorry,
doing
guys.
one thing. You start doing one thing and then you end up building someone's barbecue patio or something. With the DeWalt tools.
Yeah.
In the middle of winter.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's been kind of interesting. Like in between Christmas and New Year, my wife took the kids to go. We went to Florida to see her family before Christmas, and then she decided to go back after Christmas to spend some more time and see people and let me work. And so I had like 3 days, 2.5 days of kind of uninterrupted, I can get a lot done. And whenever she does that and I have those times, I'm really excited. I'm like, this is going to be super productive. I'm going to, just like stay up late and work and all this stuff. And this year was really different. I don't know why exactly, but I was in between projects. I think that might have been part of it. Like I didn't have anything that was, like, hey, this is the thing that I'm ready to dive into. And so I just kind of like went around the shop going like, well, what are things that I haven't done that I needed to do, And so I ended up like on the live stream building some quick shelves to put all my 3D printers on, which organized the office a little bit, which made it easier to use, and the printer's easier to use. And, so it ended up being a bunch of like infrastructure stuff, but things I couldn't really use for videos.
There was, I think there was a space at the bottom and you didn't say what it was. Is it for what I think it is?
It is for what you think it is.
All right. That's all I want to know.
Yeah. There's a thing coming that's going to go on the bottom shelf. So, yeah. But so I got a lot of stuff done around the office and around the shop, but, like I said, not really video type things. But I've got a few videos in the can already, which is nice. So the next one's coming up for this week will be a frame for a record. Like I like to put records on the wall as art because I really like the way they look, but I also like to listen to them. So this one's a frame for that you can easily open the frame and pull the record out so that you can listen to the record and put it back in.
That's awesome.
And
I wish I would have thought of that.
I reference your video because it's an aluminum frame and I brazed it and I pointed people back to your video. So hopefully you'll get some traffic from that. I had to go back and watch the video to, figure out exactly how to do that. So, yeah, I'm excited about that one because it actually turned out really good. And it's like a useful kind of practical thing for me, at least. Maybe not for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so I've been doing that and lots of 3D printing some parts for some props I'm going to put together in the live stream and, stuff. Lots of stuff. Not ready for my kids to go back to school because they've been out of school for a really long time and it's time for them to go back to school. But, so what are we going to talk about?
You want to do the looking ahead and looking back again?
Yeah. It's kind of a tradition. We've been doing this for so many years now that we actually have yearly traditions.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Veteran.
I think this might be the third New Year's special on the show. So, yeah, let's talk about, you want to wrap up last year? Maybe each of us give a little wrap up of like how it went, big maybe accomplishments or things we're proud of or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So I recently saw this comedian and he said, everybody said like, oh, 2016 is the worst. We lost a lot of celebrities. Things didn't go the way they thought politically or whatever. And I've been keeping my mouth shut because for me, I had a really, really good 2016, and this comedian's like, if you had a good 2016, you're not allowed to say that you did, just because of everything that's happened over the past year. But there was my channel, my business, my YouTube, I think grew in the right direction this year, and I think my greatest thing, or the thing that I'm most happy that I did, was hiring Eric to add that element into what I do. You know, it made it more fun, which I say over and over again. I'm just trying to have fun, and so that's the thing that's like pushed me forward. There was one point, Bob and I went to VidCon last year. I think it was in April or May, and we saw all these people speak, and they said all the things that we've probably heard before, or at least most of the things. But for whatever reason, going to VidCon and actually seeing these people say in person really like just kicked me in the butt and made me want to be better. And so that's it was a really, really good year. I learned a lot about myself and what I want to do for myself.
What? Okay, I'm going to complicate this a little bit just because I'm curious. Instead of just talking about what was good, what we liked, because I think that's easier, let's all also throw out something that we were unhappy about. Like, not politics or deaths or any of that pop culture stuff, like within our own lives. Something that was like a bummer or set you back or something you didn't expect, or, you know.
A long pause while we think about this.
Yeah.
We can come back to that too if you want to.
Yeah, let's come back to that.
Okay, Jimmy, what was good about last year? What were some highlights?
Well, the biggest thing about last year is I picked up obviously a couple of sponsors, potentially long-term sponsors, which is good because that affords me the ability to not do installs anymore. And the biggest change from the beginning of last year to where we are right now is I don't do installs nearly anymore. And that being like every Monday, I was talking to Taylor about this the last couple of days. Every Monday morning I'd wake up and I think to myself, okay, where does the truck have to be on Tuesday? I have to go get a truckload of plywood. We got to build this thing and it has to be installed in Midtown, and I'm going to get a ticket, but I just build it into the price of work in that day. And all those pressures are basically gone. And I also don't travel as much this year. I haven't worked for the liquor company since I did in May. What is that horse race that always happens in Kentucky, Bob?
The Derby?
The Derby. The Derby was the last time I worked for the liquor guys, and I hope it wasn't something I said, but they promised me it has everything to do with budgets, and I think their business is also reflective of those budgets. So I haven't done any liquor stuff since May, but I've just focused on my YouTube stuff, which has been really good. Because every time I traveled, I would always end up missing weeks. Like, you go away for like 5 or 6 days, and like your whole entire three weeks after that is like completely in turmoil. And so every time I traveled, it kind of screwed with my YouTube schedule. So this year has been good for a couple of reasons, bad for this. I lost all that income. I mean, that was a considerable amount of income, all the liquor stuff. And it might pick up again. Like I said, it's no bad blood. It's just apparently budget concerns that have nothing to do with me, unless, aside from the fact that I'm not getting hired. And I started my vlog, which has been really good, in my weekly vlog. I probably wouldn't be able to keep up my weekly vlog if I was traveling to Kentucky as often as I used to do and doing all that stuff.
Can I make a point about your vlog real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just don't want to forget.
No. I'm just brainstorming as we talk.
Like a long time ago, we had a conversation about you talking on camera, or about the things that we were scared of, or something to that effect. And you said, I remember very specifically, you said something about you didn't feel like you were articulate in the way that you spoke sometimes. And that was that was a fear. No, but man, I really enjoy your vlog because
Thank you.
You seem super collected. Like when you're talking through, it's like you're reviewing your own week, and you have a totally different outlook on it than if you're like always walking around with the camera like, this is what I'm doing right now. Check this out. It's super cool. It's not like that type of thing. Here's what I did, and I want to share it with you guys.
The way it unfolded was, it happened organically, which was nice. But Nick said to me, Offerman said, he goes, you do the way you do your wraparounds, which is what he calls them. I didn't even know that it had a technical term. He says, you do your wraparounds, you're so calm. But that's because I get a chance to review the footage and, in my mind, say the things I might want to say about those subjects, as I get to constantly tweak the edit. And then when I finally make a little notepad of an outline of what I want to talk about between the the segments, then so it's really been it's been rewarding in the way that it unfolded and how it organically has taken place. And so I'm happy about that. I feel like it's given my channel a lot more substance. I was very wishy-washy on it at the beginning because I felt like I was selling out my original idea, which is just doing the videos with no talking. But I still do that too. So like I said to a couple of fans that are like, oh, why don't you do it the way you used to do it? I said, the way I used to do it is I just wouldn't post a video for 3 or 4 weeks until something was done, and then I would post it. So now you have something in between those 3 and 4 weeks. And I also, my channel, I feel in this last year, getting back to reflecting on 2016, I feel like my channel is becoming more complete because it's becoming more of a portfolio. I'm able to go back and put up my make videos that are 3 and 4 years old. You know, I asked them and we had an agreement that I can go back and put up my old videos. And, you know, my contract with them expired 6 months after I started. And that was, I guess, closing in on 5 years ago. And we never renewed it. So it was always been kind of like up in the air as to like what exactly am I allowed to do. So no harm, no foul. No one's complained that I've been putting up all my old content except for the fans that have seen them before. And I put right in the title, old video. So people click on it and for 1 second they get inconvenienced and they have to complain. They're like, why are you putting up old videos? I said, it's in the title. I don't understand why you're clicking on the thing that says old video. So my channel is becoming a more complete body of work for me, which I'm really proud of. And the same thing with Core. I don't know when, but I have the ability now once a month to start posting my Core videos on my channel. You know, all those videos are on my channel anyway, just private. And so one of the, you know, when I'm having a slow week, I can just go back and click on some old content, which is nice. I feel like I have a substantial portfolio building, and I'm really proud of that. And yeah, no, just the friends I've made in the last year have been amazing. My newfound interest in machining keeps growing, and my skills are getting better. And with this Tormac machine, they surprised me out of nowhere this year and said, hey, do you want a Tormac? I was like, you guys know who I am? I was like so blown away that they even recognized me and that they're willing to give me a machine. So, and by the way, in a couple of days, I'm driving to Zanesville, Ohio. That'll be 9, 10, and 11th. I'll be in Zanesville, Ohio to take a class with John Saunders at New York CNC. I'm going to be one of his classes. It'll be a group of people all learning how to use Fusion in relationship to the Tormac 440. So awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. I opened the machine up last night upstate, and I had to cut this little circle in a piece of plexiglass, and I was just going to hand cut it. I was like, oh, I got this machine here. I set it all up, open the computer, and I set up a file. Like you can do what's called the conversational thing, where you go right into the machine and set a small file up without having to go through Fusion or anything. I totally lost my nerve. I was afraid to hit start. I thought I might crash the machine. I said, all right, let me just wait. Class is in 7 days. Let me just deal with it then. And so, and you see in my new Witchblade 3 video where I cut a pocket. That totally was an accident. I hit start and I said to Taylor, if this works, I'm going to go with it. If it doesn't, I'm just going to do it by hand. And I hit start and it worked. That's just developing the trust in your skill set and trust in the machining and that kind of things, which is slowly developing. What else am I proud of this year? Proud of the fact that I'm able to use the house. I bought the house for the sole reason of working up there, and now YouTube has afforded me the excuse to continually work up there and use the visuals that the house has instead of just building things for clients that no one's ever going to see where they came from. I'm really proud of being able to work at that house and take advantage of the views. So that's another really great thing I'm thankful for this year. And just the growing fans, you know, like I met so many, I'm friends with so many people now from around the whole world, and people are oddly surprised that I'm friendly and willing to make friends with new people all the time. And I said that people go, like, they think, I don't know, some people think I'm a celebrity and they think like, I'll do my thing and then like I cut out the back door and get in a limo and drive back to the city. But I'm just a dirtbag shop dude, and that's all I'll ever be. I really feel that way. And, you know, I'll hang out with anybody and talk about dirtbag shop stuff. So it's been a really great bonding experience with a lot of the fans that I can consider friends now. It's been a great year. And like I said, the best part about it is that I'm not waking up Monday morning stressing out about how I'm going to avoid getting my car towed in Midtown in front of the Plaza Hotel and and taking a subway or Vespering up to certain parts of the city to take pictures of the parking signs so that I could make plans in 3 weeks from now about how I'm going to deliver a product. I mean, that's really what I said to Dave, if you're going to be on 57th Street and 9th Avenue, just take pictures of some of the parking signs so I know what to deal with in 3 months when we got to deliver this project or whatever it is. So, all that stress is sort of gone right now. And I'm only taking projects that I can turn into videos, which is great. Which is really great. So it's been great, and then doing the Making It 100 was just so amazing. And, a simple little idea. The best thing, I'm rambling and I'll stop after this next point. The best thing about what we're doing right now is that it's just us and the people that enjoy what we do. And that's it. There's no 25-year-old PR girl walking around with a clipboard saying where we should be. Make sure you tweet. There's no over-the-hill TV producer that's just doing this to get to his next job and doesn't give two S's about anything we do. It's amazing. Like Nick Ferry's producing this event. If it goes off in June, it's going to be a big outdoor event. That could be the event that it's just YouTube and the fans. And that is it. There's nobody else in between. You like what I do? I appreciate you liking what I do. I can do this for you personally. I could sign something. I could send a picture. There's no chat rooms on some channel. There's no TV executives involved. And it's just, me having, with my history, it is just so rewarding that we could put off an event like Making It 100. And it's just us and the people that appreciate what we do. And it's such a direct connection that we can call them friends.
Yeah.
I think,
and it's honest.
Yeah. I think you're going to see a lot more independent events like this because of the reach that we have. Not we, but everybody has with social media and YouTube and all that. We can gather up people, and there doesn't have to be this publishing company or a magazine that puts on the event. That their
doesn't
main
have to be Woodworking in America or any of that stuff.
Yeah. Nothing against them because I've had awesome times at Woodworking in America and the Make events and all the other events. Those are great, but it's cool to see like the DIY punk attitude of like, let's just do it ourselves and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting that kind of goes along with the fact, the whole idea of doing YouTube or any content creation is that really. It's like, well, I can't get a TV show or I don't want to get a TV show or whatever, so I'm just going to do it myself. It's really cool to see that extended out into other stuff, into like real world things like what you're talking about.
Well, but the point is now like each one of us, all three of us, if you guys got a TV offer tomorrow, you would really have to stop and think, do I even want a TV offer?
Yeah.
Because I'm so happy with the success I've created completely on my own, in my house, without anybody's interference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had that thought. I was actually going to talk about the Making It 100 thing as well for, 2016 for me. That and VidCon, like you were talking about, David, and just all the traveling. In 2015, I traveled quite a bit, and it was tiring. It was really tiring. And, each one of those trips is cool in the moment, and it like you have fun while you're there, but I always dread traveling up to it. And then after I get back, I'm so relieved to be home. And I still feel that way when I travel anywhere, but this year, every trip that I took was like super just fulfilling, like, and worthwhile. It wasn't like I took any trips that were just like, wow, I really shouldn't have done that one. Well, there was one, but other than that, most of them were very, very good. And especially things like Making It 100, because it was exactly what you're saying, Jimmy. I'm just going to copy you. It was like us and people who care about what we do or do it as well, and just the fact that we could spend time with people that we have an immediate connection with is super cool. Maker Faire is kind of the same way, where everybody's there for basically the same reason. And so yeah, lots of really good events. VidCon was a huge boost for me as well. It was just one of those things where you get inundated with more information than your brain can even like just capture. But the cool thing about that is I think I can go back next year and probably listen to the same conversations and get different stuff out of it, which I think is really cool. So, and I would suggest anybody that's there's looking to be full-time content creation, go to VidCon at least once. because you will be exposed to a huge number of people who create things and have a different perspective or have more experience or have different tips and tricks or whatever. But, they will, what is this?
What?
I didn't get that.
I got YouTube candy for Christmas. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, while you're talking about VidCon, I'm like, oh, I got YouTube candy. I want to eat some now.
He's eating chocolate with the YouTube logo on it.
This is because of, like, the content ID thing, I think, because I spent so much time on the phone with everybody, or through email, rather.
Let's see, for what else for 2016 for me? Big thing for me, and this is not something I've talked about publicly really, but I got an agent, which sounds kind of uppity maybe, I don't know, but man.
Me too, I got one too, I completely forgot. You're right, I got it in March.
It was like one of the coolest steps to legitimizing what I do to myself. Like, this guy, he's great. He's super easy to work with. He's motivated. He like shares my values, and he knows what I will and won't do and stuff. The cool thing though is, like, I can spend all the time that I used to spend talking to sponsors and dealing with all the contracts and all that stuff. I can work and I can do what I want to do again with those hours, and it's fantastic. That's just a really cool thing, like, personally here that happened. I think in 2016 I spread my wings a little bit as far as skills and project types, which really rubbed some people the wrong way in a big way.
Anything specific?
I think I had kind of set the precedent for, like, most of the things I make are generally useful, which is fair enough. I mean, I did have that intention in the beginning. And then a lot of the stuff I started doing was just because I wanted to try it, or I wanted to experiment, or I thought it would be funny or whatever. And I think that still makes for a good video and still can relay some knowledge and some information. But on those, like the pudding gun and even this trike that I just did, I got a fair amount of, like, what is this? Like, why don't you do woodworking anymore? That type of thing. It's, I understand that. That's fine.
I had that this week, too, with the Witchblade 3. I never got this many dislikes. I got, like, over 500 dislikes on this Witchblade thing. But also, no one's reading the description, which says this is just a concept.
Yeah.
I liked you better when you were the drunken woodworker.
Yeah. Actually,
leave me alone.
Can we talk after?
But so I get a lot of that at this point. But I don't really care about that stuff. The thing that I'm happy with is that I am experimenting with new things. I have experimented with new things and, trying things out that I'm really bad at, and I fully admit that. But, at least I'm trying them. I think that's really cool.
You have to think, it wasn't around in my time, but you would have to think every time the Beatles released a new album that sounded completely different than the previous album, that there was the same kind of reaction, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, well, let's go back around. What was something that maybe wasn't ideal, or something that surprised you, or something in last year?
Nothing like real specific, but there was a couple, and I kind of think I figured out how to turn them around. There was a couple failed projects. There was a wiener dog ramp that made for the outside. He didn't use it, and it was a failed project. There was another one where I tried to encase a cookie in an epoxy, and that was a totally failed project. The wiener dog ramp I was able to fix off camera and make it work. The epoxy grandma's recipe project, that was just a complete failure. What I learned from that was, even when I post the failures, people relate to that, and they're like, oh yeah, this guy who they think I know woodworking, I'm just working my way through it, just like everybody else. I just happen to be decent at operating the camera and know how to document it. So the failed projects, I've okay, if the project fails, still post it because people still can relate to it. And then not just 2016, but for the last 2 or 3 years, the thing that was kind of disappointing was that it took me so long to find my rhythm and to find where I wanted to be. And I think I have no regrets, but I think that really hurt me as far as growth, because I was doing this style, I was doing this show, and then I was doing this style. And now I finally found this thing where I'm super excited about it. This is where I should be. at least right now. And I think if 2 years ago, if I would have found this kind of style, I would be so much better off, or not better off, but I have a lot bigger channel. Where when I look at you guys have you've improved, but you've basically had your voice and your style for a while now, and I think that's definitely helped you. So,
Picciuto, did you notice last night? Well, I just happened to notice last night. I was looking through Social Blade, and I follow like the top 5 guys that we all hang out with, and your subscription rate is up like 80%.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I never saw that number so high for anybody.
Yeah. For, if you're not familiar with Social Blade, it's a great tool to see your progress and then compare yourself to other people, or just to see how other people are doing. And for about 3 or 4 weeks, my what do they call that? The subscription was up 120% for like 3 weeks in a row.
Wow.
Okay.
And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is trying to do 2 videos a week, and another one is just making videos that people like to see and want to share. So it's just the more effort I put into it, the more I get out of it, and that is so true. You just can't make a video and then hope it goes viral, because that hasn't happened for me for the most part. You got to make good videos, and you got to do it at a consistent rate.
What about you, Jay? What
as far
was last year surprises?
Well, regrets, or just, reality checks, or regrets, whatever you want to call them. Things beyond my control. I've already mentioned how I lost almost 100% of my liquor business from this last year. I mean, I did a couple jobs. I mean, when I get 1099s from them in the last 3 years, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe these guys paid me this much money this year. And this 1099 is going to be probably under 10 grand. And, it was considerably higher than that in the last few years. So I lost, from May, I haven't done one thing. I quoted a few things, nothing came in. So I had to fill in that income. And it's not one of those things where we're sitting around going, oh my God, we're losing this income. I just keep trucking on. And then I get a DeWalt video, and then I get this. And then, I pick up a couple of more YouTube clients. And so my life is kind of ebbs and flows, but I did not expect to kind of go 100% zero with all my liquor stuff. I haven't done anything since the horse race, and so that was a little bit of an eye-opening experience of you just can't always count on it. But that's the reason why I make 10 different incomes every month, and I don't always put all my eggs in any one basket. So that is definitely something, reflecting back, make sure that you diversify. And this year is when I really realized I don't have really the want, the need, or even in some cases the ability to do installs. And I talked about it, but case in point is the classroom that I agreed to do. And it's funny, today we're talking about it. I opened an old notebook and I found the very original drawing for the proposal that I hand sketched in preparation for doing a more refined drawing. I usually hand sketch up a couple drawings, and then when I do a full pitch, I'll do it on Illustrator. And it was marked March 1st, which is closing in on almost a year ago. And I had a meeting with Danny, who's my good buddy. And he goes, do you think you could have this done in a couple of months? And I said, sure. And I still, in my workshop, have pieces of that classroom I have to deliver, and it's closing in on 3/4 of a year later. And I said, I apologize profusely to him when we talk about it, and he's okay with it. He's totally fine. But I just feel bad that I haven't been able to fulfill that. But it's just logistics. To me, to hop in the car and drive 30 miles north takes all day long. So for me to drop off one thing, get in my truck, drive out of the city, drop it off, I come back here, it's 5 o'clock. I left at 10 o'clock in the morning. The whole day is gone. All I did was deliver one thing. Might take a few minutes to install it, but there and back, it just sucks up the whole day. So I just feel bad that job got away the way it did. Everyone seems happy, and it's done for the most part. I have a couple more little detail things to do. But that was really the eye-opening experience where I realized, I can't take on... I used to say yes to everything. But now I say yes to every video opportunity I have, because I can really just keep growing my production business. Somebody once said it, we're entertainment producers, DIY know-how, DIY how-to producers. And now I just focus on that. and make sure everything I do focuses on that. And I tell everybody straight away, if you want me to build something that has to be attached in fit, custom fit, no way. I said, I will make something that just gets dropped off, and then you and your goons could put it wherever you want it. That's it. No more custom fit, no trim, no, no tools on site. That just immediately makes me lose time and money, and that's it. So that's like I said, that's been a negative that turned into a positive for me this year.
Let's see. For me, this is maybe a little dark, a little deep. And this is not about celebrities, but like 2016 was very death heavy for me. I don't know why. And actually, it kind of started at the end of 2015. But just talking about things that are out of our control and things that we didn't expect. Like, I've just had a lot of death close to me over the last year-ish. And, that's part of life. I mean, I understand that everybody goes to that at some time. But it's made me, I think, just more aware of my own mortality and more aware of, like, every day, what I do every day and how I act and, how much time I have and stuff like that. And so that has been good, I think, in the long term. But, to go through death and have a lot of death around you and to lose people that you care about and to lose people that you don't know randomly in front of you and stuff like that, just it kind of throws you for a loop. And so that's kind of how I think of 2016 in that way. But I hope that will kind of do some good in making me, just more aware of where my moments go and like how, like where my attention is all the time and stuff. When I look at my kids, I have to often remind myself, like, they're the priority, not your job, like this, they're the reason that you have the job. So they're the priority. And I have to like kind of force myself into that sometimes, to snap myself out of like being absorbed in my work. But I think it's really important. So, in this case, the mortality stuff is helping reinforce that. So hopefully that's good. But, kind of related to that. I was thinking about this the other day. You know how, David, you said earlier, people were talking about how bad 2016 was, like as far as we've lost all these famous people and, all this different stuff. I was thinking about that, and there's no way that we lost more famous people this year than we have in the past. But yeah. I think the reason that it feels that way, and it does kind of feel that way to me, I think the reason it feels like that is because we're so much more connected than we have been every day. Mm-hmm. Like this day last year, we're way more connected now. We are more up on what's happening. We get notified of things so much faster and more often than we used to. Because, I mean, like think about our parents. They had people that they watched on movies and, famous people that they knew of. Those people also died. But they didn't maybe hear about it within moments of it happening, and they didn't hear about all of them, in succession or whatever. But it got me thinking about like how this is a change that will not unchange. Like this is how we are from now on. We are super connected, and we're going to be constantly updated on the state of things that in the end don't matter to us personally necessarily. Somebody cares that each one of those famous people died. Somebody was their family. And so I'm not trying to downplay like the effect of a death. But from now on, we are just always going to be like, okay, so-and-so got married, so-and-so's dead, so-and-so's this, it's like notification. It's just weird to think about. Like we're not, as a society, we're not going back to that, like, oh, I heard this thing happened a couple weeks ago. It's like everything is right now. But I was thinking about that in relation to my kids and just how they're going to grow up with, like real-time notification of everything happening to everybody, whether it's personally important to them or not. But anyway, not really related to that. The other thing that kind of took me off guard last year, something I'm kind of disappointed in myself about, is that I thought I was getting a thicker skin. I thought, and I think I have, but I thought maybe I was getting tougher about comments and about that stuff than I actually was. And so it's just something I'm going to keep working on, but I still will find myself just really, getting pierced by these annoying little individual comments that in the scheme of things don't mean anything. I know that, but they still hurt more than I feel like they should. So that's something I'm going to try to fix for next year. Get thicker skin again.
If you don't look, it doesn't matter.
I've thought about that. You're joking, but I have thought
that's how I've been dealing with like I said, this Witchblade thing. I'm getting so many negative comments because people just don't understand the fact that I'm just trying to, and I just haven't read my comments since yesterday, and I feel bad because I know there's a lot of good comments and people are really, once in a while I'll jump in and just look at the good positive ones and say something back, but the negative ones are just it's hurtful. It's just like, guys, don't you understand? I'm just trying to have fun.
Yeah.
People think I'm like trying to, reinvent the way that they should think. It's not at all it's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, no advice helps you with that. When somebody says, "Oh, just ignore it," or "do this and do that," it doesn't help. The only thing that helps is how you can figure out to deal with it in your own way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish that there was some sort of like an exercise that you could do, to like get yourself tougher. Maybe I could just go around and ask people to insult me to my face, and maybe that would help. But
the thing is, what happens is, okay, if you're in a crappy mood before you go and read the comments, you're gonna react to them in a way. Then if you just won $10,000 on a scratch-off ticket, and then you go to read the comments, you're gonna be like, "Well, I don't care about anything."
That's a good point.
It's true.
All right. Well, what about next year? This year? It's not next year. It's this year. David, what's happening this year? What's going to be awesome this year for you?
All right. So I found my rhythm, but now I'm going to expand on that. And what I want to do is I want to do more left field projects. I want to get a little wackier, a little crazier. And what I want my videos to be less of a tutorial and more of documented this day on making something. And so what you might see from me in the future is I'm not going to show you how to set your table saw to cut this dado. You're just going to see me cut it, and I want it to be more entertaining. I want it to be for non-woodworkers, where anybody can watch the videos. And so maybe I lie a lot on this podcast about what I'm going to do, but maybe it's going to be somewhere in between a tutorial and a vlog, where it's just kind of documenting the day or this project, and we're going to have fun with it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I'm not going to say you're not, I don't want to say you're not going to learn anything. So if you're watching the videos just to learn something, you don't have to stop, because hopefully there's still that thing, like you see that technique where, I never thought to do it that way. Or if you want, I'm still going to have plans for these projects. So if you want to build what I'm building, you can go to the website and download the plans. So just a gentle progression of step by step to just watch me make this thing and have fun. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I learned in VidCon was it was show your personality. And where before VidCon, it was, you saw shots of my hands and then a boring voiceover, and this was the project. After VidCon was my face is on there and I'm talking about what we're doing. And so it's just, that's what I want more. I want more of, sounds weird to say more of my face on camera, but that's what you're gonna get. Yeah. It's gonna be the entertainment thing of what I'm doing.
Cool.
And left field, totally left field projects too.
More hot dogs?
More hot dogs.
Yes.
Wiener dog tie racks?
Yep.
You should make a whole collection of dog tie racks, every different breed.
Great. It's going to be a long series.
For me, yeah. I'm looking forward to trying to continue my move upstate and get out of the city. It's something Taylor and I really are looking forward to trying to do. And this will be the first year in 10 years that I'm probably going to keep my house open going all the way through the winter. Because Taylor's there, we keep tag teaming. I'm in the city for a couple of days now. She's up there working in the garage on her projects. And, so it's been somewhat mild so far. This hasn't been a crazy, crazy winter. And I definitely want to build my barn. That's something I'm really looking forward to. I'm having a consultation in February for that actual happening. It's going to actually, the consultation is going to be on my property with somebody who I met through the internet, and I still want to get my buddy David involved. So we'll see where that goes. So I'm looking forward to 2017, building my new workshop. I'm amassing a huge collection of tools, which I just have nowhere to put them. I have to actually slow down, stop collecting tools, and now start to collect space. If I could, like, literally, I just need a roof over my head. That's what I need. I'm not worried about the cold. It's funny, going into this next video project where you see me build 5 tables in steel on my property. The video starts with there's no snow, and then there's a lot of snow, and then there's like a lot of snow. So the video goes through the course of the few days between Christmas and New Year's, where it got colder and colder and colder. And I'm working all day long, and I open my phone out of curiosity to see what the temperature is, and it's like 15 degrees out, and it hasn't slowed me down at all. And I mean, every once in a while I turn on the gas forge. I turn on the forge to heat metal, but I use it to heat the room. So you'll see that in the video where I pop on the forge. But it's not something that's crippling. It's not debilitating to the point where I can't work in the cold. So in the past it was, because I just said, oh, it's going to be 10 degrees out. How can I work up there? But now, the desire to do things out of the city is stronger than my desire to stay warm. And then also, I really want to tackle this computer CNC machining stuff. It's Fusion. I mean, the more I play with Fusion, the more I can jump right into a simple little build. But I still get cornered to the point where I have absolutely no idea how to get out or make something or do something. So I want to get past all that. I want to be able to just say, make a Zippo lighter in Fusion. How do I do it? Boom. Where's the hinge pin? How is it going to open? I want to make this. I want to just go straight to Fusion and make it. And then from there, that vision goes right to cut right out of a chunk of aluminum. I mean, I feel that's going to really free me. A few years ago, I talked about wanting a laser. I still would want a laser. I'm not sure. Like I said, the reason I haven't gotten it in the past is I don't have the room for one. And so I don't know if that's going to be something that happens for me this year. But I'm going to try and keep my eyes open for that opportunity. Maybe the Glowforge will be done before the end of this century, and we could all get one. Just kidding.
Cool. Well, for me, I want a bigger shop in 2017, and I think it's going to happen. I don't know how exactly. I don't know where it's going to be, or if it's going to be at the house or away from the house or any of that stuff. But I think it's inevitable at this point that it's got to happen. So I just get more and more frustrated with, like, turning around and there not being enough space to do the thing that I want. And so I turn around the other way thinking, oh, there's space over there. Nope. It's just, there's no space anywhere. So
wait till you see this video of me building these 5 tables. This is literally, the shop is just packed with tools and tables. And there's like 10-inch walkways between me and Willie, like, trying to do things. It's just insane.
Yeah. We all need more space for sure. So hopefully that'll happen for me this year. And along with that, if I get more space, and maybe even if I don't get more space, I really, really would like to do more videos. Like, for about 6 months, I've been wanting to do 2 videos a week, and I haven't figured out how to do it, or what the format is, or exactly what that content would be. But I just really would like to have like a system in place that could make it so I could produce more. So I have a feeling those wouldn't be 2 project videos a week, but I'm not really sure. But I think along with that is I just want to keep expanding my skills. I want to learn more. I want to get better at the stuff that I already do. Like, I definitely want to get better at welding. That's one of those things that, like, I'm almost ashamed every time I do it on on video. It's just because, like, I know it's bad, but I don't have time to just practice for the sake of practicing. I don't make time for that. And so I think there's got to be some time this year where I just set aside, like, today is about getting it better at welding, and not making a video of it and not explaining it, but just getting better at it. So that, and then I want to get some new tools. I'm going to be ordering a lathe in a couple of weeks, finally. So I'm going to have like a good working lathe that I think will do well for me for a while. And, other skills like that. Just stuff I haven't gotten to yet that I want to try out. So, but I'm excited about this year. I think this year is going to be awesome for all 3 of our channels. I think it's going to be awesome for the podcast. I think it's going to be awesome for the community. Lots of cool events lined up and everything. Just getting people more connected with each other, and I'm pretty stoked about that. So, yeah. Anybody got any more thoughts about 2017 before we wrap it up?
I'm just looking forward to having fun and being more. I guess the freedom. That's really. I'm feeling more and more freedom as time goes on, and being able to control my channel, my destiny, my videos, my content. My job. It's just amazing freedom. Like I drove home last night. Willie and I left this upstate. We got back to New York City last night at about 3 a.m. And typically I'm always anxious to get right to bed so that I'm not zonked for the morning. But I was like, tomorrow's my day. I don't have to answer to anybody tomorrow. I don't have to be prepared to do this or meet this person or make sure I get this product done in that time. So the more and more of that is just, it's like, wow, I'm like slowly becoming the artist that I always really wanted to be. And I think more of that's coming.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's just important that you not only look at the past year every January 1st, but you always are looking at what you've done and how you can improve. And it sounds like all three of us are always moving forward, evaluating what we've done and how to use that to make ourselves better. And you have to do that throughout the year and just keep making yourself better and keep pushing for doing what you want to do. Like Jimmy, it sounds like you're doing more of what you want to do that makes you happy. And that's what's really important.
Awesome. Cool. Well,
yep.
You guys actually, before we talk about what we're watching, I want to quickly thank everybody who supports us on Patreon, especially Luis Gonzalez and Make Build Modify. They're our top patrons over there, and those two guys have been supporting us for a really long time, and we really appreciate them and everybody else who supports us.
I would like to just jump in quick and say thank you to Luis. My buddy went down to Puerto Rico. He goes, "Do you know anybody in Puerto Rico?" I was like, "Yeah, my buddy Luis." I go, "He's probably going to make you stay in his digs," but I go, "You could just ask him for advice." Luis sucked him up and sucked him into his world and showed him a great week. So Luis, you're the best, and I owe you an official thank you. That's it.
Awesome. Cool. Well, what are we watching? Anything cool, David?
Yeah, mine is a podcast, and it's an episode of a podcast, and that is the TED Radio Hour. And they just recently, on December 30th, had an episode called Simply Happy. And man, just a good episode on interviewing different people on what makes you happy. And there's like actual research done, and one research focuses on this area of happiness, one thing focuses on this area. It's just a good episode. Check it out. And NPR makes some really awesome podcasts, of course.
Yeah, I listen to the TED Radio Hour every Sunday. It's great. My pick of the week is Steve Hofstetter. He's a comedian that just popped up in my feed. I don't know him personally. I never heard of him, and I started watching him on YouTube. And he does featured moments where he gets picked on, and then he handles the heckler. And it's he's really good at putting the piece together, setting up the piece. He does like a little off the stage talk about and a little voiceover. And the reason he's actually a very good comedian, but the reason I really am using this as an example is because this is a perfect example of how to use YouTube to set up your entertainment lifestyle. If you're an entertainment person, if you're an actor, comedian, or you do what we do. Here's a comedian. He has a couple 100,000 subscribers, and he has a couple of really big viral videos that videotapes his sets, puts them up, dissects them, talks about them, only puts up good content. I'm sure he's got tons of content that's horrible, but that's just the way it all goes for everybody. But is a perfect example of somebody using YouTube to set his career up. And he's executive producing his whole lifestyle through YouTube. So that's why I think it's a good example.
Cool. Well, for me, I want to recommend somebody that we all know, and probably most people listening to this know, but just in case. Matt Cremona. Matt is a fantastic woodworker, but I don't think he gets the recognition that he should get for what he's doing. He's a great woodworker, but he also is making a trailer-sized bandsaw mill from scratch. This insane big contraption to mill down lumber. And I don't know. I've been kind of keeping up with the progress, but I haven't been watching every one of the videos. But I watched the one the other night where he actually made his first cut on this log on this thing. And just seeing it in action, it's massive. So I don't know. I hope that he get some recognition for the work that he's doing, because it's really good. And he's a really good teacher. He's good at explaining, like the fine woodworking stuff that he does. He's on Wood Talk. I mean, it's not like people don't know about him, but I hope he can get some more recognition, because he's a great guy, and I think he's doing really good stuff. So,
are you talking about Matt?
Yeah, Matt Cremona.
Oh, because I was broken up the whole time. I'm sorry. I was just watching Matt, actually. His bandsaw thing has been such an amazing experience. In fact, I stick welded all week because of Matt, and I was going to mention it in my voiceover for this video. So it's great that you were talking about Matt. I broke up and I missed your suggestion, but I was just watching 2 or 3 of his videos just before we got together, so it's funny.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess that's it for this week. Unless you guys got anything else.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you for sticking with us. Year. And hope everybody has a good new year. We'll see you next week.
Here's to 2017.
Woo!
More hot dogs.
More hot dogs.
I love you, 2016, despite what everybody says about you.